dispossessed him. Look, I've been a little bit down on Ali, and it's easy to forget that he's only 21 and he may be going for a bit of a slump. He's still managed to score 3 goals so far this season and effectively had 2 assists yesterday. But I think his bar is so high. The guy is so supremely talented, and we've seen what he's capable of now, that we're looking for him to just be able to be his clinical self. And he seems to be caught in two minds a lot of the time. And Tim was right. The 2 opportunities that he had, one on the left foot, one on the right foot, you'd have expected him to get a shot away early, like he did for Kane's second. He got the shot in early, the keeper saved it, and Kane nipped him for the rebound. But the 2 breakaways that he had, or 3 breakaways that he had in the second half, he could have ended the game, and that would have been it. And then sending off or no sending off, we wouldn't have been sort of squeaky bum time for the rest of the match.
And just to put it into perspective, because the minute you're talking about that, Vass, I was thinking, well, what was he like last season? And I just went and looked back at the first 14 games of last season. That takes you up to mid-December. He'd scored 3 goals in all competitions, and so he's got 3 already.
Yeah.
And you only have to look at his stats past, I think, that Burnley game. He scored against Burnley. He had 2 at Southampton, 2 at Watford, 2 against Chelsea, and he scored at City. That takes you through December. So there he is. He's banged seven goals in 6 games. So no more than that, 8 goals in 6 games. So I think he'll come into his own. I think he builds up a head of steam as the season progresses, and I think you're right, Vass. We've got high expectations of him to continue from where he finished last season, and as long as we're winning, is it okay for the spotlight to be off Ali? So clubs who might be watching him this season go, well, maybe we should give him another year to see how he develops.
Yeah, I think that's a great point. One of the things I thought about today, I remember this time last year we were sort of lamenting about Eriksen's slow start, and I think that we would put Eriksen and Ali in the same camp, and that they are supremely talented players, and we just need games, we just need samples, and these players will come good, and their talent will sort of ultimately reign supreme. Speaking of Eriksen, the gaffer in the rundown points out that his goal makes him the highest scoring Danish player in Premier League history. That road represents our 5th straight away win. It ties a club record, and that's unbelievable.
Well, I have to pipe up there.
Go on.
It ties a club Premier League record.
Yes. Okay.
And you know what's really ironic about that? The record ties, and this was over 2 seasons, because obviously we tack on Leicester and Hull from last season. But when we set it, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
2013-14 season, 5 away wins at Manchester United, Swansea, Southampton, Sunderland, and Fulham. And that was AVB and Dim Tim.
Really?
Just so I put that in perspective.
How bizarre.
So Ken wanted me to do a little research to see how far that went back. And that's Premier League era. I went back into the Football League era, and everything stops at the double season. So and I didn't look at any other season. I looked at the 50-51 season. I wanted to rule that one out, and I did. I think we only won 4 aways that season. From April of 1960 through the 29th of October, when we lost, I think it was Sheffield Wednesday, we had 11 away wins in a row.
Wow.
3 in the 59-60 and 8 to begin the season in the double winning season. I somehow don't think I can look at all the other seasons. I'm not going to find 11 away wins on the trot.
Well, it's great that we are doing doing so well away, and hopefully our form at Wembley will start to be comparable. It's an important win. I mean, we're now in 4th place, 11 points. Ahead of Liverpool on goal difference, ahead of Watford on goal difference. I think I predicted they would get relegated this year. There's still time. Other takeaways, I granted we were a man down. What did you guys think of Trippier when he came in? Anybody have a view?
I thought he was okay. He didn't really do anything bad. I think when they crossed for their second goal, it was Winks that was covering the crosser. But no, I didn't really notice, or if he was on the pitch long enough to have any material impact in the side. I think Poch's substitutions were good yesterday. I mean, he needed to bring Winks into the midfield just to shore things up, and then obviously he couldn't keep Sissoko in at right wing back for too long, so Trippier had to come on. And then the Llorente substitution, in fact, was also pretty key because Llorente was able to have the ball played up to him, and he won a few headers. He held it up a few times. He even caused a ruckus at the end just to kill the passion in the game, and very smart and intelligent play. So yeah, it was tough. We made the game harder for ourselves in the end by winning, foregoing a three goal lead down to 3-2. But the subs were fine, and I don't think Trippier was good or bad. Really, a little bit indifferent towards it.
What do you guys make of the Sanchez versus Carroll battle, and particularly that one that he got away with at the end in the box?
He sure got away with one. I remember watching it live going, has someone got a sniper up on the roof? But I watched the replays, and there was definitely a forearm in the back. But Carroll sold it too much, and I think that's probably why the call did go his way. But it could have been a penalty easily.
I think he's going to prove to be a fabulous player. In fact, I think he already is one. He's a Sanchez. And I love the fact that Carroll came on, because I wanted to see how Sanchez was going to react against a very physical player, a guy that's also good in the air. Not so much similarly because he has that sort of athletic mold like a Sanchez does, but that's a prototypical number 9 in the Premier League, and I was really intrigued to see how he would handle him without having really the experience of defending against a player like that. And I think all in all, I think he did pretty well. I mean, to Chairs' comment, I mean, certainly Carroll made a meal of a couple of challenges, but I thought he did quite well for a guy that's kind of slight. I didn't think that he was giving up much. There was one big tackle where he did get bossed, and then he seemed to kind of wake up from there. But man, I got to tell you, there's a lot of similarities with him. Maybe just physically with Ledley. He's just so athletic, and he glides very similarly to how I remembered Ledley running. I know there's differences in players, but I think he's going to be a really, really good player. He doesn't seem to lack confidence to me. I mean, I'm excited about him. And
yes, I said the same thing to one of my boys, Sam, that he reminds me of Ledley, but it's really early days. Shouldn't get ahead of ourselves.
I agree.
He has that. He has the ability to be that. Yeah.
I think that we're and I've been pretty consistent about lacking. What we lack is we should have gone in from sort of not a replacement player, but a good substitute for Eriksen, a guy that can come in and be influential. But I think that our back four is going to win us a lot of games. I think Jan Vertonghen, in basically the twilight of his career, he's playing fantastic. I think his defending is outstanding, his positioning is wonderful, and he's actually creating. He was marvelous in that interchange that led to was it the first goal?
Second goal. Yeah.
I
thought he was man of the match yesterday, personally.
Oh, he was. Okay, yeah, I think he deserved.
No, I thought he was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think Jan's playing like he was back in his first season when he came in under ABB.
Yeah, I think he's playing very well.
The last 2 years, it seems like Toby's stolen the spotlight, but Jan's moving forward like he was that first season. He wasn't doing that the last 2 years, but I mean, he's having an amazing campaign so far, and I hope it carries on throughout.
I do too. I think, and look, this is not a knock on Toby because I think he's absolutely world class, but Arnautovic had the best of him early yesterday. And I'm glad that Aurier, picked up and played that kind of supportive defending role. But that's the one thing about that back three that does scare me a little bit as a speedy guy. But that was interesting. That's not the first time this season that he's been beat to the byline. It was a pretty good cross that Arnautovic put in the first time. I was pretty nervous about that. But again, I mean, I want to be consistent. I think we have a marvelous crew of defenders, and I'm excited that they can win games for us in spite of our inability to score at times. Pochettino had a big team dinner this week, and I think did Levy attend this dinner as well?
No, don't think so.
I heard he was there.
I thought he was.
The first team squad, the coaching staff, and Levy.
Oh, my bad.
And a steak dinner. I sense they probably went to some Argentinian steakhouse in London. And Poch picked up the tab.
Yeah. Nothing like a bit of team bonding, especially when it doesn't come out of your pocket.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, I think that supports the narrative that he is the leader. There's great chemistry. It's a group of guys.
Do you know what, Sam? There was a video put out by the club on Facebook. I don't know if it was probably other social media channels as well. Post game, there was no commentary, and it was just the team as the game finished. Mm-hmm. Everyone shaking hands, pats on backs, and you look at Pochettino. He recognises everyone's contribution to the team performance, even the substitutes, even the coaching staff, even the doc and the physio. He sort of hugged and shook hands and whatever, went and acknowledged the fans. His coaching staff the goalkeeping coach hugged Hugo after the game. And there's this whole kind of bond that is so great to see amongst everybody at the club. Hopefully it will continue for a long while.
He's magic. He's magic. Yeah, indeed. It was pretty cool. Like Zabaleta, Argentinian, and it was cool watching them at the end of the game. Gave each other a big hug, and he's just he's a character that is clearly very easy to respect, and you can just see people responding to him, whether it's people at the club or even opposition. He handles himself remarkably well.
Did you see the picture, I guess it surfaced before the game, of him and Zabaleta at Espanyol together with the Copa del Rey when they won it?
Oh, yeah. No. So they played together, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Zabaleta with the full head of hair. and of course, the magical Poch ponytail.
Oh, man.
This is a great picture. I was showing people at the pub, they had no clue. I had no clue that the two had played together. I saw someone, I think it's Chris Cowlin on Twitter, had snapped a picture of the two of them talking after the game outside in the car park yesterday. So obviously they've got a good relationship.
That's awesome. I didn't know that. I'll have to go look for that picture. All right, it is time for, and before we got on, I promised Tim that I'm going to get this done. A quick shout out to Jesse Ramirez, who was so kind enough to give us the audio for the Flight of the Conchords, It's Business Time, which is going to be the theme song for It's Injury Time. I'm not going to sing today, but it is time for the master of the macabre injury updates. Is that brought to us by anybody, Timmy?
Not at the moment. We're holding out for a big time sponsor.
Well, why don't we? Because I botched the first one. Would you like that also to be brought to us by the good folks at Community Beer Company?
Sure, we can bring it.
Do it.
What it is funnel cake ale time, fellas.
Oh, I love that funnel cake ale. It's
pitch it. Go. Pitch it.
The funnel cake ale. Oh,
yeah.
Well, it's State Fair time. Community Beer Company's funnel cake ale is coming out. It's a nice, sweet, refreshing, yeasty beer. Pick one of those up. It's great.
All right. Tell us about the injuries, Timmy.
All right. So, actually, I got some APOL injuries for you.
Woo!
Yeah, going deep on this one.
Deep.
So they had a couple players miss their recent match over the weekend against Aris Limassol. Am I pronouncing that right, Vass?
Vass has gone for a cup of tea.
He's going for a cup of tea. Well, he's missing this one because it's exciting. So Georgi Ephraim, he did not train. He's a right winger. He missed the match, and he's actually the only one being reported as out on transfer market. The others I had to scour a little deeper.
Did you say Georgi Ephraim?
Yeah.
Sounds like he should have been a bass player in Mott the Hoople.
I'm back. My mic was off. Sorry, guys.
Okay, did he pronounce that correctly?
He did. It was a great pronunciation. Yeah, no problems.
Well, thank you. The other ones are Facundo Bertoglio,